Hi guys, my name's Matt, professional musician and music teacher from the northwest of England. Today's video is covering basic timekeeping and an understanding of subdivision. All musicians will agree that developing an inner clock and a solid sense of timekeeping is integral to becoming a better performer and a master of your instrument. And we can help make that inner clock solid and confident by studying and practicing subdivision. Okay, so this lesson will have different outcomes depending on your experience with timekeeping. If you're just starting out, it's going to be a great opportunity to study different rhythmic groupings and how they are played in time with a metronome, which in itself is super important and something that you never really stop practicing. And secondly, we will understand note value and how a typical bar of 4/4 is divided into those values. Thirdly, a solid understanding of how subdivisions sound, how to perform them, and how to move from one to the other fluently. So let's begin. Subdivision is a universal term, simply meaning to divide one thing into varying amounts. The one thing we will be dividing is our bar of rhythm. Today we'll be working with a bar of 4/4, which means the length of time within the bar is equal to 4 quarter notes, otherwise known as crotchets. We will work with a tempo of 80 beats per minute, and the click is set to beep on the quarter note. We will hear 4 beeps to each bar, so simply put, the metronome is outlining the quarter notes. To perform quarter notes at a relatively slow tempo demands focus and accuracy. Try your best to land each hand directly on the beep. The beeps from the metronome are consistent, and from time to time I see pupils almost guessing when the next note will come. Listen carefully to the click to get a feel of its regularity. Predict the future. No guessing required. Stick your quarter notes with alternating hands, as this will help develop strength in your weaker hand. Our next subdivision is Quavers, otherwise known as eighth notes. To get these, we split each of the crotchets in half, making 2 notes where there was once 1. Quavers, or eighth notes, can be often found in pairs, joined by a single beam from stem to stem. For this example, we are using right, left, left. Note that now your right hand is playing on the pulse of the metronome and your left hand is playing in between each beep. The momentum of this may feel easier from a timekeeping perspective, and again, if you're new to timekeeping, this is an important exercise to build your inner clock. To subdivide further, we could split the eighth notes in half to create 16th notes, also known as semiquavers. These notes can be beamed together, often in groups of 4, with 2 beams distinguishing them from the quavers. Note you are now fitting 4 strokes in between each beep of the click, played here with a sticking of right, left. It may be advisable to play the first stroke of each beat a little louder. This is called an accent, and it can help your timekeeping accuracy feel more confident. Again, just sitting with this for a good stretch is an ideal chance to build your timekeeping. Okay, so now we've got a good grasp on those subdivisions, the names of them, how they sound, and how to perform them at a click of 80 beats a minute. Now we're going to attempt to move from one subdivision to the other fluently without stopping. We will play 2 bars of each division before moving to the next. So 2 bars of quarter notes, 2 bars of eighth notes, 2 bars of sixteenths. Taking note of where and when our leading hand will land on or off the click. After the 2 bars of sixteenths, we will step back to 2 bars of eighths, and then finish with 2 bars of quarter notes. Okay, so grab your sticks and something to hit, and let's give it a go. So how did you do? Hopefully it was okay. A really good tip is to try and hear the next subdivision before you get to it, which is really going to help you prepare to change. Also, a tried and tested way of hearing those subdivisions is to associate them with a word. The word needs to have the same amount of syllables as the strokes. For example, quarter notes I'll use tea, eighth notes will be coffee, and 16th notes will be Coca-Cola. This can really help your inner clock link your playing to a sound of a word that you're already familiar with. Say them out loud, say them in your head, whisper them, whatever works for you. Okay, moving on to the next part of the lesson, we're going to add 2 new lines of subdivision which are slightly different to the others. One is the 8th note triplet and the other is a 16th note triplet. Eighth note triplets are 3 evenly spaced notes in the space of 1 quarter note, so we have to spread out 3 even strokes between each beep. We will work with a sticking of right, left, right, left, right, left. This is a little harder for beginners as we will find both hands will take turns at landing on the click. This can feel uncomfortable at first, but is well worth the practice. A good way I've found to sound out a triplet with your voice is to simply say triplet, triplet, triplet. 16th note triplets are the bigger brother of the 8th note triplets. Here we have to fit 6 strokes within each beep of the click. We will stick with alternating hands for the sticking pattern, however as 6 is an even number, it will be our leading hand that will constantly land on the click. So this may feel more comfortable. Now because we are fitting the most amount of notes into a beat at this point, it may be difficult to phonetically sound this one out. However, some ideas I've found that might work are hickory dickory hickory dickory, or higgledy piggledy higgledy piggledy, or see what this guy says,
Oakley doakley.
Something like that. It's worth pointing out that the speed of these subdivisions is only relative to the starting tempo. So if we start at 60 beats per minute, that may make playing quarter notes quite difficult as the space will be further apart, but playing 16th note triplets will be easier. However, if we set the metronome to 120 beats per minute, the quarter notes will be easy, but the 16th note triplets will be a bit of a squeeze. Okay, finally, we're going to attempt our subdivision exercise with our new 2 lines of subdivision. So just like before, 2 bars of each division before moving seamlessly into the next one. However, this time we will fit 8th note triplets and 16th note triplets into our list. 2 bars of quarter notes, 2 bars of 8ths, 2 bars of 8th note triplets, 2 bars of 16ths, 2 bars of 16th note triplets, and then work back in reverse. Here we go. Alright, hopefully that was okay. Hopefully it didn't scare you off. If the triplets were a little tricky, then my advice is to maybe just step back to the subdivision exercise that doesn't include them. Sit with that for a while, focus on the pulse, the metronome, your accuracy, your control. If you managed to play the triplets and that was okay, then that's great. This is a really, really nice exercise to warm up before any type of playing. It's really great to focus on timekeeping, and it's one that you can use at any point just to sort of tighten up your playing. Regardless of ability, this type of exercise will not go amiss at any point. So thanks for getting involved, thanks for trying it out, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys.